The chase is already underway. A small band of early hominins as like ancestors as bodies still shaped for trees yet pulled increasingly toward the ground bursts from the edge of woodland into open savanna. Their movements are uneven, half climb, half stride. Arms swing wide for balance. One adult grips a struggling bundle of tubers torn from the soil moments earlier. Another clutches an infant tight against a narrow chest. Behind them, grass explodes outward as something large follows. A leopard. The predator breaks from cover with silent precision, muscles coiling and releasing in fluid violence. Panic ripples through the group. Instinct fractures them, some veer towards scattered trees, others toward a rocky rise ahead. For a heartbeat, the band almost splits apart, and that moment nearly costs them everything. One female stumbles, the tubers spill, dust rises, the leopard closes. Then something changes. An older male, scarred, slow but watchful, halts instead of fleeing. He straightens higher than the others, legs locked, torso rising above the grass. His posture is unfamiliar, unstable, but it makes him suddenly visible. He raises both arms, fingers spread, teeth bared in silent threat. Another adult mirrors him. Then another. 3 figures stand upright. The leopard hesitates not out of fear but confusion. The prey is behaving wrong. That hesitation is enough. The group regathers, dragging the fallen female upright. They retreat backward, still facing the predator, still standing taller than instinct demands. Only when the trees close around them does the leopard melt back into the grass, its hunt unfinished. The band disappears into the forest, hearts hammering, lungs burning, lives intact for now. They do not stop moving. The savanna is expanding, forest shrinking year by year. Food is no longer everywhere. The old paths through branches no longer feed everyone. Hunger drives motion. Motion invites danger. By midday, heat presses down like a weight. The group reaches a shallow river, its banks churned with the tracks of many animals. Water is survival, but it is also a trap. Crocodiles slide just beneath the surface, eyes breaking the skin of the river like stones. The hominins approach carefully. One adult scoops water using folded leaves, lifting it away from the edge to the waiting young and elders. Another keeps watch, body angled outward, scanning both forest and plain. Upright again, not fully, not gracefully, but long enough to see above the grass. The infant squirms. The mother adjusts her grip, exhaustion etched into every movement. Birth came only days ago. Blood loss, weakness, danger, yet she still walks, still forages, because stopping means death. Suddenly birds erupt from the trees. A storm is coming. Wind tears across the savanna, flattening grass, driving scent and sound into chaos. Rain follows in a violent curtain. The river swells within minutes, muddy and fast. The group is cut off from higher ground. Lightning splits the sky, thunder shakes the earth. Panic threatens again, but the storm brings cover. Smell is lost. Predators retreat. The band moves along the riverbank, half running, half sliding, driven by the rising water. One elder slips, nearly dragged away. 2 adults grab him, bracing their legs against the current, bodies leaning back, using weight and stance rather than grip alone. They hold. They always hold. At last they reach a limestone outcrop riddled with shallow caves. The group presses inside just as the rain peaks, water roaring past the entrance. In the darkness they huddle together, breath and heat shared, bodies trembling not just from cold but from what almost happened. The storm passes. Silence returns, but it is not peace. As evening falls, the scent of blood drifts into the cave. The tubers dropped during the leopard chase were not recovered. Hunger gnaws harder now. One adult ventures out alone, limping slightly, following the smell to a fallen antelope carcass caught in thorn scrub. Hyenas circle it, snapping and testing, but they scatter briefly at his approach. Briefly. He crouches low, then rises again, that strange upright posture, using height and arm waving to claim space. He tears at flesh with stone fragments picked from the river earlier, sharp enough to slice skin if struck just